This is Optimal Living Daily Relationships, episode 142, How Samantha Used One Simple Idea to Create Sacred Long-Term Love by Tamara Green with lovein90days.com. And I'm Joss Marie, your host and personal narrator, right here on the Relationships edition of Optimal Living Daily. This is the show where I read to you every single weekday from some of the best relationship blogs around. I cover dating, marriage, family, parenting, breakups, and a ton of other relationship content, all free of charge. Today, I have a post from a guest author on lovein90days.com. It's all about her secret to creating sacred long-term love. If you know people who may be having a hard time finding long-term love, go ahead and share this episode with them. And with that, let's get down to it and start optimizing your life. How Samantha Used One Simple Idea to Create Sacred Long-Term Love by Tamara Green with lovein90days.com. Recently, I was so fortunate to have visited beautiful Sedona, Arizona during a holiday family reunion. I was fascinated with the red earth, the rock formations, the twisted trees, the powerful vortexes, and the mystical happenings. Wanting to learn more about this incredible place, I did some research and found out that the American Indians never lived in Sedona because they considered it sacred ground. They never dreamed of being hurtful, disrespectful, or ungrateful of this wonderful home they called their spiritual home. No, their sole purpose in visiting Sedona was only for worship, soul dancing, meditation, and contemplation. So, at least once per year, the Indians would pack up their teepees and make their journey to Sedona for their emotional and spiritual evolution. They felt honored, open, trusting, and grateful toward this land. My wonderful mentor and friend, Dr. Diana Kirschner, once said to me that love relationships are sacred, or at least they can be. I agree with her 100%. And eventually, my mentee Samantha did too. Samantha journeyed from feeling disconnected, discarded, and heartbroken in her relationship to feeling like it was sacred, solid ground, a love she could count on. Can you imagine what this planet would be like if everyone believed that relationships were sacred ground, just like the Indians thought of Sedona? Just feel that one for a second. Wow. People would actually treat each other with honor, openness, trust, and gratitude. In other words, be a contributor to their relationships. Samantha started love mentoring when she thought her relationship with Oscar was over. She admittedly was creating quite a bit of drama whenever things did not go her way. But now Samantha and Oscar are deeply bonded in love and planning a solid future together where they will travel the world and take it all in. How can you make that journey in your love life just like Samantha did? I started off her sessions with these questions. Samantha, do you contribute or take away from your relationship? How do you treat this relationship? How do you act? Who are you being, such as your worst or best self? How would you rate yourself in this relationship? 1, being your worst self, to 10, being your best self. She gave herself a 2. Then I had her explore the roles and identities she was operating from with Oscar. For example, was she the martyr, lazy slug, workaholic, dominator, victim, pleaser, loser, responsible one, thoughtless one, controlling, controlled, abuser, or abused? Samantha realized that she was the needy one and putting pressure on Oscar by needing him to give her what she so desperately wanted, to fill a void. And when that void was not being filled, she was able to see that she tramped over, dumped on, and complained to Oscar a lot. It was clear that she was contributing less than her best and was not treating this relationship as sacred as she could. Samantha and Oscar's relationship took a complete turnaround when she viewed herself as a contributor. So, instead of looking at Oscar and asking what he should do for her, she asked what she could do for him. Then, Oscar, noticing and appreciating this huge change, naturally started doing this with her as well. Now, my question to you is, how can you contribute to your partner's life? In other words, instead of seeing what's wrong with them or instead of focusing on what they are not doing for you, look at what's right about them and what they are doing for you. Note, when you are contributing, honoring, valuing, trusting, being in gratitude to someone else, you are also contributing to yourself. What goes around comes around. So I'm happy to report that every area of Samantha's life has dramatically improved since starting this program. Do you remember what it felt like when you first got together with your partner? The romantic sparks were flying. You were so excited to be together. You couldn't stop thinking of each other, and you were constantly planning what you would do or say when you were together again and in each other's arms. The energy that you two were being was spectacular and huge, the size and brightness of the sun, because you were contributing, honoring, trusting, being open, and feeling so much gratitude for one another. You began as sacred, lasting love. Then, time went by, and you started expecting things from one another. For example, he needs to be home on time. She needs to cook the meals. Then came the judgments. He's so inconsiderate of my feelings. She's always nagging and suffocating me with all of her demands. The sacred love starts to get smaller and not so bright. Then comes the anger and frustration with lots of arguments, or even worse, the silent treatment. The sacred love shrinks, becoming even more dull. It reaches a high point of disillusionment, deficiency, and catastrophe. The relationship is in constant turmoil, and the sacred love is now the size of a pea, all black and shriveled. What happened? It started off so grand and amazing, and now it's downright scary. Are you ready to hear that one simple idea to create sacred love? Are you ready to commit to making one change now that could help take your relationship back to sacred? Yes? Good for you. Here it is. Every day for the next 30 days, tell your partner at least one thing about him or her that you are happy about, appreciate, thankful, or grateful for. It doesn't matter how angry you are at someone, you can always find something about them that you appreciate. Go ahead. Try this out and see how things start to change for the better, just like it did for Samantha and Oscar. As a love mentor and couples therapist, I have seen marriages on the brink of divorce turn completely around with this easy first step, and I know that you and your partner can do it too. Make a stand for yourself, your partner, and your relationship, and take it back to sacred, lasting love. You just listened to the post titled, How Samantha Used One Simple Idea to Create Sacred Long-Term Love by Tamara Green with lovein90days.com. Tamara Green is an expert love mentor at lovein90days.com. And again, it's super easy to share our episodes with friends or family or anyone else you think may benefit from our shows. If you're using Apple Podcasts, you can share the episode by clicking on the 3 dots icon that is just to the right of the episode title and author, and then select Share Episode. You can choose to send it via text or email, whichever you prefer. And for those of you who are not listening through Apple Podcasts, you can share the show by simply sending our link right to your friend. The link is oldpodcast.com/listen. And that's about all I have for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you again for tomorrow's episode from goodlifezen.com, where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from incredible bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, Mark and Angel, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift, as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.